welcome to Moving to New Zealand. It is flying eagles to flightless Kiwis. And ironically, I am married to a Kiwi, and I've always called him a flightless Kiwi, although he did come move to America to live with me for 16 years. But prior to that, he pretty much stayed in New Zealand, and now he still likes to stay in New Zealand and is a homebody. Today, my first guest is someone who I met when I was in New Zealand. So she is from America, but I met her in New Zealand. And actually, one of my funny stories about you is how I barely knew you, and we had this puppy. Maze is her name, and we were going away on a week-long road trip, and we had a dog sitter, and then the dog sitter canceled, and Stef was just, I'll take your dog. And I was, are you kidding? And she just took our dog for the week, and I thought that was really chill and cool, and that kind of speaks to your laid-back nature, which is a contrast to my... Well, I always used to be kind of type A, but as I age, I think it's really falling off of me, especially as I've come to New Zealand. I don't know. I
gotta let it go.
I care less and less, except for my house. My house has to be very orderly, but everything outside of my house is chaos, if that makes sense.
I don't know what it would take to make my house orderly.
No.
It's something I don't have.
But it's cool because you're always like up for anything and go with the flow. So welcome, Stef. And tell me where you moved from.
I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
And how long ago did you move to New Zealand?
We came in July 2021, so it was during closed borders. I'm a registered nurse. That's what got us here during closed borders.
Yes.
Joe, my husband, is a civil engineer, also in demand here. So we did 2 weeks of MIQ, Managed Isolation and Quarantine, in Rotorua.
Oh, I also did. I came in July too.
2021?
Wait. Yes, actually it was August because we drove across the USA in an RV for a couple weeks, and I think we flew out at the end of July.
Yeah,
but
we did too.
Yeah, crazy.
I think it was like July 27th was the date we departed, and we arrived July 29th.
I'll have to go back to my calendar, but it's all around that same time.
Where'd you do MIQ?
In Auckland. Ridges.
They sent you to Auckland, and they sent us to Rotorua.
Yeah, what the heck?
We were. And I know somebody who came here.
We were at the Ridges Hotel. And we weren't allowed outside for 5 whole days.
Oh, we got to go outside pretty quick.
And it was all 4 of us in one room. It was pretty rough. I ended up renting a spin bike, or a bicycle, a stationary bike, and they delivered it to the hotel. And I just got on that and blasted music and rode away from my family, or at least tried to. I was actually doing Instagram live stories at that time, and they were my highest viewings ever because it was a reality show, and it was reality of me falling apart. And then friends from America were sending wine to my hotel room, but they would only send like 1 bottle a day.
Okay, why did nobody send me wine? I ordered it from New World.
And they never brought it? Oh, no, yeah. They did?
No, I ordered my own wine because I met a lady, Kiwi, who was her second time doing MIQ. We walked like 2 meters apart around the exercise yard. Yeah.
Oh, no,
From 2 meters away. And she's the one who told me to order it from the grocery store.
Oh,
I had to send them a copy of my passport, so they knew I was old enough.
We were not allowed. When we were outside on our first walk and the kids started doing those exercises where you run up and you run back.
Yeah, they wouldn't let them run.
No, they said you cannot sweat because it was the sweat. They couldn't risk us sweating.
I didn't know that's what it was. I thought it was in case you just fell and got hurt.
That's
what
the military.
I wonder if they didn't know
the
why.
The military person said we
just
can't
said no
let
running.
you drop any sweat because your sweat droplets might spread virus.
Kiwis tend to be rule followers, so they may have not really had any rationale behind it.
And we did get yelled at. And then the food in our hotel caused a lot of digestive issues and flatulence. So like we were already at our level of peak annoyance, and then it just smelled.
One bathroom. Yeah. We had the 5 of us, and we did have a separate king bed in a different room.
Did your kids fight a lot?
I don't think so. Annika was really homesick.
Oh.
And so she was, we were all, it was crazy, We'd never even been to New Zealand. So we just, and it was summer at home and it was winter when we got here. We were exhausted. We emptied our house, all the things.
So you were just ready to relax.
I did a lot of researching because I was meant to start work pretty quickly, but that's another story too, is then COVID emerged, the August outbreak that never went away.
Right.
And so I was delayed starting work for several weeks. So, but I thought that I was going to need to get to work like days after MIQ. So I was trying to find a place to live. I was terrified to drive here.
I still am. I'm still terrified.
Are
to
you
drive
really?
here.
I don't even think about it now.
Not the road trips. I mean, not open road. I will go over a mountain that has no barriers. You know, I'd rather fall off a cliff.
No, I'm a city driver.
Yeah, the city here, I get honked at every single day. And I saw a meme that someone sent me the other day that said, something about getting erections while driving, but erections from the middle finger, you know? And I go, oh yeah, I'm getting a lot of those. I do get a lot of middle fingers.
Do you really?
Yeah, flipped off, yelled at.
Funny.
I don't know. There's just so many cars on these skinny little roads. And then you're sharing the road with buses and pedestrians.
Have you been to Dunedin?
Cyclists? No.
Christchurch has wide roads for New Zealand. Considerably wider. That is something to know if you're thinking of moving here. Christchurch probably has the widest roads I've seen.
But what about how you get a green light at an intersection, but the other side also has a green light, and then you have to peek out until it's yellow and wait till it turns red to take a right turn?
That's kind of how Minneapolis was.
Was it?
There's more and more arrows. It's a frustrating point. Christchurch kind of, I don't think, has fully internalized how many people are moving here and how much the population is growing. And that was one benefit. Auckland has really narrow roads and everything, but almost always you have an arrow, whether it's left or right turn. And people generally just accept that you're never going to be able to make a right turn if there's no light. And you can just go out in kind of the painted median and they'll let you in. They stop. They're much better than Minnesota drivers, honestly. Minnesota drivers are terrible.
Okay. I have never been there, so.
They're terrible.
We just have wide open roads in New Hampshire, so.
Yeah, like rural.
I mean, I can drive in Boston and cities as well.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm a city driver. I lived in Boston for a long time and drove in and out. No problem. No stress there. It is very much a Christchurch thing, but my kids, are backseat drivers, so they help. Speaking of kids, I have a daughter named Annika as well, and so she's 13, and your Annika is 14.
Yep.
And then I have Lennox, who is 11, and then you have two more boys.
Yep, I have Reese, who is 12, and Kellen, who is 8.
Yes. So how are they doing?
They're doing well.
Yeah.
They're very nostalgic about the States, but as we're all aware, the States has changed a lot, even since January.
Yes.
So I don't think that they're young enough, and they've been here 3.5 years. I don't think that they really remember some of the things, like the harsh winters. And, when they go back now, it's all fun and games, and it's summer, and we see everybody, and their friends and cousins don't have school.
Right.
And so that's what their memories are.
Right.
And so it's rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
And they'd love to be home with the family and everything.
Yeah. Well, in contrast to that, I keep meeting Americans here on vacation or on holiday, and they're like, we've been here 2.5 weeks and we're ready to move here.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are on holiday.
That's a honeymoon period. It lasts for a little while.
And you're on U.S. dollars.
Yeah.
So coming to New Zealand with U.S. money, that's the way to do it. Because the exchange rate right now, I think it's
still
going
pretty
down,
good.
but it's good. So coming here with U.S. dollars, it gets you far. So nothing feels that expensive. But when you're here making New Zealand dollars and paying New Zealand cost of living, it's
expensive here.
Yeah. I loved my first year here because we were still on U.S. dollars. So I did all the things I wanted to do. We could go out to eat and try new restaurants and just get in the car and take road trips. And then real life of New Zealand income kicked in. But back to you coming here. What was your motivating factor to come here? I know everyone has, I'm married to a Kiwi, so he wanted to come back and be closer to his dad and his sister and his family. And I loved living in New Hampshire. No complaints from me. I wasn't escaping, but I know a lot of Americans who are coming here are definitely looking for a different
Political climate?
Yes, a different vibe. Without being too political, because it's not a political podcast, but it is the reality and it's the truth of why people come here.
Listeners that you're going to pick up are probably looking to leave the States for a reason right now too. But I was totally rocked by the results of the 2016 election, and I was ready right then to go. And I had studied abroad in France when I was younger, 20, and it was amazing. So my sights were in Europe. I was thinking of like the Scandinavian countries, and I got into a graduate school in Norway, and I really was just shocked that I got in and I wanted to go, and the kids were littler. And my husband just wouldn't go at that time. And that was, I could have my own podcast about that experience in my life. But as time went on, and we did have riots in Minneapolis in 2020, which were literally close to home. And I think that was the first time that he actually started to acknowledge that some things were deteriorating. And eventually just said, would you ever go to New Zealand? And I was like, yeah, sure.
But
fine.
why New Zealand?
Well, I think I know I've asked him this, and I always say I think it's because he wanted somewhere he could golf year-round. But he was not at all open to or hopeful about learning a second language at this stage. And I think if he was going to do it, he was born and raised St. Paul, and then we lived in Minneapolis. It's just going to be far. It's going to be an adventure. And the climate really is nice. I love the climate in Christchurch. I think that does tie into the golf, but also a motivation. I just never thought he would go this far, so I never even had these, Australia, New Zealand on the list. Plus, I was terrified of driving on the other side of the car.
Yeah.
On the other side of the road. So it was just like I struck any country that was driving like the Brits. Now I do it all the time, though.
We switch back and forth. When I go home, and last year I happened to go home to America 4 times, my mother will be like, I don't know if I want you driving my car because
I drove on the wrong side of the road twice in the States last time.
Did you?
Home.
Yeah.
It was just like access roads to petrol stations and stuff, but it was just funny.
I notice when I'm tired, I will, I mess up. And both countries though, if I'm really tired, and there's no other cars on the road, that's the thing. If there's other cars to act as your road of reference or reference on the road, it's easier to know. But if you're just there at an intersection and no one's there, I'm like, shoo, what is that? And I'm constantly asking my kids. But when I was just home for Christmas, we flew in on Christmas Eve into Boston. We got to my parents' house in New Hampshire, probably 10 p.m. The next morning is Christmas morning. We do Christmas morning. Around mid-morning, I hop in my mom's car to head over to see my brother-in-law and the kids' cousins. 15-minute ride tops, maybe 10. I pull out of their dirt road, 2 minutes, and the sirens are behind me. And I was like, I have been driving for 2 minutes. And oh my goodness, it was a state trooper. And I just said, I'm just trying to focus on being on the right side of the road. I gave my New Zealand license. Yeah. Of course. I'm going to pull that card. And I was speeding, apparently. Allegedly, I was speeding. I said, I forget the speed limit. I haven't been home in a while.
I was thinking kilometers per hour.
It gets better because by the time I got to my brother-in-law's house, and he is also a police officer in a town, he knew all about it.
Oh, funny.
So my last name is original. The New Zealand, there's no other Kiwis around that area besides my husband, who's now here, and his brother. So, the word traveled fast that I was speeding, but I was like, whatever, at least I was on the right side of the road. Give me credit where it's deserved. So small town stuff. But actually a friend of ours and she won't tell this story on the podcast, so I'm just going to tell it for her, I think. She was driving in New Zealand for 2 weeks. She had just moved here. The cars are registered in someone's name. So, for example, I had to go get a part for my car the other day, and he's like, what's your registration number? Which is your license plate number. And I give it to him, and I'm like, how do you know all my car details
from put it in the computer?
Well, because it's one country and one system. Yeah. So in America, we would have to give our VIN number. So when you go get an inspection or a warrant of fitness, they call it here, you give your VIN number. Here, you just give your license plate number, and that gives them all the information because in America, we have all those states, so every license plate is linked to a different state. So here, your license plate can just tell everything. So anyway, a police officer saw her. She looked at her map on her phone quickly. It was a quick, not texting, just looking at the map because I still need to use a map all the time too. So I completely understand. And the police officer pulled up next to her and kind of like waved his finger at her, but there was someone in the back seat, so they couldn't pull her over.
Oh.
They already had a offender. The police called her partner, husband, whatever, and he was overseas. So the police call him and they're like, I'm looking for a blonde lady who is driving your car. And he said, oh, that's my partner. She's, by the way, in New Zealand, everyone is called partner. So that might be confusing. People call their girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, wives. Everyone is just partner. So you don't know if people are married or whatever. Yeah. So in America, we tend to only use partner.
For same-sex couples?
Yes.
More
so
often.
Just that can be confusing for some people, so I just want to add that note here. So her partner said, well, the police want you to call them. And so she had to call the police to get scolded. And they were basically like, we're not going to give you a ticket. We didn't pull you over. We couldn't do anything, but we want to tell you to stay off your phone. And she was really... I don't know, embarrassed about it, but
it's hilarious.
I was like, that's so Kiwi. They called you up to tell you. I mean, that's also kind of small town. That might happen where I'm from, but this is a city. So I thought that was a really funny story.
It's like the sign I showed you too with the smoking outside the hospital. We should post that in the Instagram and your, I'm so bad at Instagram.
Wait, what's the sign say?
It just says no smoking. If you're caught smoking here, you will be asked to move on. Like, that's all it says.
Yeah, so we'll just remind you to follow the rules. I know, that's so
Watch
funny.
out.
Oh, back to, when you first moved here, though, you lived in Auckland. Yes. Mm-hmm. So now you're in Christchurch. So just for people who don't know, Auckland is the largest city in New Zealand, and it is on the North Island. So New Zealand is 2 islands. Mm-hmm. We live down in Christchurch on the South Island, and Auckland is way more populated, way busier, just a bigger city than Christchurch.
Horrendous traffic.
Okay.
And not great public transportation.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I've heard
it's
that.
a nice city. It's got a lot of perks, but that part alone is just like, oh.
So what made you leave Auckland? The traffic?
It was definitely up there.
Okay.
The housing quality.
Okay.
For what we could afford. It's incredibly expensive housing in Auckland. And, Christchurch just has, it's low inventory, but a lot because of the earthquake. It was so devastating. Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff has been either renovated or brand new construction. And Selwyn District, which is adjacent to, there's called a council here, is the fastest growing in New Zealand right now.
So Rolleston,
Prebbleton, Lincoln, I think, is in Selwyn.
Okay.
And those places are just booming in growth. And we're in Christchurch, and we actually have an old house. It's like 100 years old.
Is it that old?
Yeah. Oh. It's just been totally renoed after the earthquakes.
Stephanie lives up on the hill where I want to be living. If I want to live in a city with a view, I want to be up where I can see the view.
It is really nice. And Kiwis love views.
I know.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's more important than any other details about the home you're going to buy. Like,
oh, yes.
Never mind the built-in irrigation system. This house, the view.
Oh, what's the built-in?
I mean, when they list properties,
yes.
it's like the type of stuff they'll talk about.
Yes.
You get in there and then you're like, there's all this cool stuff that they should have in their real estate listing, but they're only talking about
the view,
the schools, and the views.
Oh, yes. The schools in Christchurch are a whole thing. And I said I wasn't going to fall into the Christchurch schooling game.
Me too. And I did.
I'm in it.
Mm-hmm.
I fell, walked right in. And yes, so ironically, where Stef lives is where Andrew lived. Actually, it's where he grew up his whole childhood, and then it's where he lived when I met him 20 years ago when I came and studied abroad here. But his house was ruined in the earthquake. So we now live in a house that we bought from America after the earthquake, and it's on the flats. It's on the flats, and it's in a good primary school district, great primary school, but the high school has been a challenge. Not a challenge, just it's hard to meet my child. They can't meet kids at where they're at because they're at capacity. They're a very big school, but just the way it's laid out is what you get is what you get. And yeah, it's interesting. So my daughter claims that she still hasn't learned anything new since moving here.
My kids have been saying that the whole time.
That?
Yeah, but
You don't believe them?
Not at all.
Yeah.
No, they came
What is
home.
this narrative then? Why do they all say this?
It is and Americans do tend to be really concerned and critical of curriculum here. And I'm
Yeah.
not going to say it's like massive academic rigor.
Yeah.
But my daughter, when she was she was in primary or intermediate school. Here, primary school is year 0 or year 1 to year 8. Or I'm sorry, year 6. And then 7 and 8 are intermediate. But a lot of the primary schools have a 7
Yes,
and 8,
ours
year
does.
7 and 8.
Yeah,
And so the
ours does.
school that my kids went to, and the only one they've been to in Christchurch, is year 0 through year 8. So she was year 7. We moved to Christchurch. And then she just started coming home because they go to this tech on Fridays, which is
right.
at the it's at uni campus, but it's like community college is what it would be, I think, in the States. And she was just making French toast and like doing kitchen stuff.
Yeah, Comex stuff. Did you have
shows
Comex?
up with like this box she made in wood shop. And
my daughter came home last night with her sewing, and she is so good.
Nobody
at
taught me
sewing.
how to sew. Well, I mean, I guess
I had home
one
ec.
time there was somebody, but it was like 7th grade, and that was it. And
Yeah,
I still can't
no
use a sewing
continued.
machine.
Yeah, yeah. Now she's asking for a sewing machine, and I had a sewing machine in America, and I did not bring it because I didn't know how to use it.
I don't know how to sew.
I tried so many times. It's just a skill. So it's looking like she has this skill. Like her lines, I'm like, how did you get this so straight? But how? She's like, I just did it. I'm like,
Right.
no, I can't. My hands just don't do that. So
And if they haven't, ability, they can maybe pick it up and develop it.
yeah,
and-
yes.
So that type of stuff. And now my second child, who is 12, is in year 8, and he's doing these things. And so his box he made in the woodworking part is
Yes.
like phenomenal.
Oh.
Like it's got, what do you call it? Where they put the design on it.
With like wood burning.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
love
so his is really nice. And he's doing some cooking.
Do you have to pay for your tech fees?
But it's not very much. There are school fees here. I mean, that's an
Yeah.
important thing to bring up. It's not just free.
Because I think about that every time I get a bill from the school. I'm not complaining, but I just want to point out because it's so not what we're used to in America. It's just a difference, not complaints, just a difference. And so every time I get a bill from them, I'm like, oh, in America. I just think about in our public school, people would freak out if they had to pay for these things.
Yeah.
Because it's just different. Yeah.
It is. And it is structured in a way, I can't speak to how well it's functioning or critique it, but it's structured in a way that the wealthier schools have higher fees and
Do
less
they?
government contribution.
Okay.
And it used to be called decile. Even when we got here, I think they've changed the terminology. So lower income schools would be getting more government support.
Okay.
But it does still, at the end of the day, look pretty, I mean, I'm just going to say inequitable. Like, there's schools, and especially here it's really Christchurch specific, but, there's the high schools where everybody, the Christchurch crowd, the old Christ College crowd,
Yes.
oh, no, don't go there. That's a bad school. And however, I have talked to students. I had a job that was doing skin checks, mole mapping.
My father-in-law went to that.
Oh,
school.
really?
Yeah, and actually the colleague that walked by earlier, her son just got in there.
Yeah, I did that for a year,
Yeah.
and I met people and talked to them all the time. And sometimes older high school students would come in, and so some of the high schools
For mole mapping.
every once in a while, yeah.
Okay.
And some of their stories, some of the schools that traditionally you'd be told are bad or to avoid or whatever. The kids were happy. They were easy to talk to, intelligent, interactive.
Yeah.
So I think I have a much wider perception of schools that I would find acceptable than I did when we first got here. But my daughter was approaching high school so fast that we fell right into. But we just got really lucky on our house too. But Kashmir is one of the everybody wants to go there schools. So.
And I know the newspaper, which I do not read, but Natasha sends me stuff about,
From the Herald?
I don't know what paper it was, but it said they're busting at the seams.
Kashmir.
They're going to have to rezone because it's just at capacity.
It is.
But
very
my
full.
daughter's high school is also at capacity. I think they're all at
Yeah,
capacity.
and they were in Minneapolis too. I remember
Yeah.
hearing about kids sitting on the floor in
Oh,
some
geez.
classes. The school my daughter would have gone to, the high school.
Kids sat on the floor.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know where they're at now. They lost a lot during COVID. People moved out to the
moved out.
suburbs.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
When the private schools in Minneapolis opened before the public schools, people put their kids, all of a sudden, all the private, Catholic schools and stuff were full because
Yeah.
people put their kids in there to
Yeah.
get them the hell out of the house.
Makes sense. When you moved here, did you bring a shipping container?
No.
You just came with how many suitcases?
We had one large suitcase for each of us. There's 5
What?
of us. And
One?
then one more, one
Okay.
additional. And that's it.
And I've seen this in the Moving to New Zealand page a lot come up recently about, it's a Facebook page about people asking questions about moving here. And they're like, how many bags will they let you bring?
We paid like $100 and some at the time for an
brought
extra
10.
bag. And then one of them was overweight. So
We
paid.
brought 10 bags
Did you?
and a 40-foot shipping container.
I came back, my first trip back to the States, which I did just myself. And my husband was in Auckland with the kids. I brought back 2 big suitcases and the one that you can take on the plane.
Yeah.
So that was, the heaviest I think I've traveled.
Yeah. What's been your I just wanted to add this in because I was going to mention in the beginning because we are speaking in front of microphones and have headsets on and this is behind the scenes, so sorry if this is boring to you, but behind the scenes knowledge. There was a lovely gentleman that works here named Ben who helped me set up, and he was showing me the volumes, and he said, for some soft-spoken people, you have to turn this up. And then he said, but if you're going to be interviewing Americans, you can keep that right at this dial. Meaning he was saying, we're loud enough.
We're loud.
We don't need to turn the dial up. And I said, yeah, when we go out as a crowd, there's probably no mistaking.
Right. Or I'm
that
sure it gets
we
real
are
loud, real
Americans.
fast. Yeah.
And that kind of brought me into another area too, where when Steph first got here today before we came on air, or is that what you call it, on air?
We started recording.
Before we were live, I don't know. So I was like, I just had another thing today where someone wants me to change who I am. And I say that's often my theme of being in New Zealand. I'm constantly being asked to be something that I'm not, or being put up against just...
There's a lot of cultural subtleties. Yeah.
Yes. So a recruiter recently told me that I need to tone it down in interviews, and I need lessons on toning it down. And then...
Who gives those lessons? I bet they're just a riot.
Should I still go to it? Should I go to the lesson?
Yeah, actually, it might be good content for your podcast.
Because my husband, when I called him and told him, and of course I was raging, he said, well, actually, I wasn't raging yet. I was laughing. At that point, it was still very, very funny to me. And he said, no, you're not going to tone it down, dumb it down, or change your energy, because your energy is your biggest asset. And I think my energy, I'm constantly trying to get things done. And even probably around this university when I'm like, I need to get this done, and I'm on a rampage, that kind of get it done attitude is really annoying to some.
It's not really prevalent here.
No,
the
it's
get
not
it done attitude at all.
It's not appreciated.
We know I don't know if you know her, but I know somebody who is married to a Kiwi, and she's from the Carolinas. She was building a house like
Here.
the entire time I've lived here. They just moved into it. They were building this house
3 years
ever. Yeah.
because there was
I don't know what all the
because for a while they couldn't get materials here.
Yes, it's very remote. And so supply chain, shipping, all that stuff adds the cost. That's one of the reasons it's so expensive. It's a small population, so less variety of retail items. I mean, they just don't have the demand.
Right.
But yeah, things can take a lot longer. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Some things are incredibly efficient, though, I find.
Well,
it happens.
We have these American professors that are over here. It's through a fellowship, and they were just teaching a sustainability and marketing course that I was on, and the male professor kept referencing Amazon and getting stuff from Amazon. And was like, they don't have Amazon, as if
Well, there's Amazon Australia.
Right, but it's not 2-day free shipping.
No.
And it's not the same
It's
content.
not as much.
Right, you can't get as much stuff. It's not the same inventory. So there's no warehouses in New Zealand, and people aren't using Amazon like an American would use.
No, not at all.
Right, like no one's doing that click, it'll arrive.
I'm totally over it, though. I don't miss it that much.
I was a little bit of a boycotter anyway because I owned a small business in America.
I like to boycott for other reasons.
Yeah.
But I did buy an Instant Pot from Amazon Australia recently.
I definitely boycotted for the whole month of December for Christmas because I wanted people to support small businesses. And that's also such an American culture. No one here, everything's local anyway.
There are a lot of small businesses here.
Yeah.
And a lot of company vehicles and a lot of very clever slogans for
On the
like
company.
plumbers and
Oh, well, let me tell you.
the double entendre is alive and strong in New Zealand.
Have
And they
you-
are funny.
Have you
Kiwis
seen
are
the
funny.
glasses company? There's a sunglasses in her company, and it's on her car. It says, "Let me sit on your face."
No, I haven't seen that one. That's exactly what I'm talking about,
She
though.
lives over. I've seen the car. I don't know where the lady lives. I'm like saying where she lives. I don't know, but I see the car over in the Banks Peninsula.
Oh,
By the
okay.
way, when Banks Peninsula is how I would say it, but in New Zealand they say Banks Peninsula.
Yeah.
like the pronunciation, it always cracks me up.
There's a like fush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I thought, yeah, they're cheeky like that, but also at the same time, Christchurch is a little bit conservative as far as New Zealand cities go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say.
That's like the vibe.
Way
people
less,
say.
I hate to even use the term PC culture, but you definitely don't have quite as many restrictions on terminology of the 90s,
Oh,
80s and 90s that we all knew well in
actually,
school. And
that
Yeah.
is funny. It's because at the class last week with the American professors, and then one of my colleagues used a term, and the professors just looked at him. You can't say that. And I was like, they do here, because my kids heard it at school. They said it. I'm like, what? And they're like, oh no, you can say that here. I'm like, oh, let's just not get in a habit of that.
yeah, that's what I tell my kids
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
The
about all of
language.
it, because they'll be like, they said this, and we very much have that conversation.
Yeah, but teachers aren't afraid. Actually, I don't even know if I should say this. I can edit it. But my daughter went to a school camp, and they wrote all these notes for each kid. So they like wrote nice things. They're supposed to all write nice things, and they all went into an envelope, and then they got the envelope full of all these Post-it notes of everyone in their class in grade wrote something nice about them.
I remember doing that in team
Okay.
building type stuff.
I was going through the notes, and a lot of them were clearly private. Like, I didn't understand
Yeah.
them, like kids being kids. One of them said school shooter. And I was like,
Oh my
what?
God.
And I'm like, what? Like, you're most likely to be one? Like, what the heck? And she's like, oh, no, because I'm American. They just call American kids that. And
they
and
talk about
my
it.
Kiwi husband was like, what? You have to tell someone. And I was just like, it's because it's such a foreign concept to Kiwis. It's so foreign that they can create a joke about it. It's like, I think that's what I came to the conclusion of, is that they can't understand it.
Yeah, it's a surreal
So
concept. I
it's-
mean, they did have the mosque shooting in 2019.
I know.
Religious motivation with that.
Yeah.
Tragic, devastating. Christchurch has seen its fair share
Yeah.
of tragedy. But as far as repeated school shootings, yeah, it's a certain level of distance from it, I guess. That
And both the
Yeah.
kids have been asked at school if they've experienced that. But again, coming from New Hampshire, we haven't had any there. And so it's still foreign to my kids because of we came from a small town. We weren't close to a city. Not that they only happen in city. Obviously, they happen everywhere. But so when people would ask my kids that, they were kind of shocked by it too, because they hadn't really had exposure of it before moving here. However, when they would have their first lockdown practice was here in New Zealand.
my kids did it.
You did it back home.
Yeah.
So
And like real, not because somebody was in the school, but if there were gunshots in the area, they would lock down. So
yeah.
they definitely experienced that. The older two, my youngest started school here. He never went to school in the States.
Oh, he didn't. Oh. And I did emergency management here for a little bit. And so that was all about preparing for earthquakes and tsunamis. And I pretty much was like, we got to get out of here. When you look at the data and the stats for that. And
Oh, yeah. Don't look at the natural disasters. But I mean,
no,
that's going to be
num-
changing
do
and
you
growing
know
globally.
We're number 2 in the world for risk of natural
Yeah.
disasters, according to Lloyd's of London Insurance. Yeah. So
Yeah.
when we were at the ocean with you, or maybe it was that time.
Couple weeks ago?
Yeah. We went out to Sumner Beach, and the tide was incredibly low. I think it was when we were there with you. And my kids were like, that's the sign of a tsunami. I'm like, well, everyone's here, so it's probably fine.
Summer's always low at low tide. Like, it goes so
It seemed
far
like
out.
lower
It's
than
so
I'd ever
shallow.
seen it.
It's so cool when it's low.
Yeah. The waves were crazy. We went this past weekend, and it was...
Oh, with a lot of surfers and everything?
Yes, and just really knock you over waves.
Oh.
Lennox made me go in with her. She said she buttered me up and said, that's my favorite part about you being a mother. These are my core memories. And,
smart.
I'm going to look back and remember you playing in the waves with me. I'm like, I just wanted to read my book. I'm like, because, I did my time when they were little. They're older now. I'm allowed to sit on the beach and read a book now, but no. If they don't have a friend, I'm in there with them.
You fall for the guilt trip.
Yeah.
My daughter was trying to argue with me this morning because she never gets out the house with enough time to get to school on time. So I was driving her.
Yeah.
And we live across the street from the primary school. And so there's school traffic here. All the schools start
at the same time
at like 8:55. And they all get out at the same time. And they don't have school busing for the most part. There are a few chartered city buses and things here and there. So there's just lots of traffic at school time, and we live right across, and it's tough to back out of the driveway. And so I was doing it, trying to get her down the hill to the high school, and she was trying to argue with me about how I'm always late for everything. And she had this super weak argument structure she was trying to make, and it was so pathetic. Like, you just don't really have anything to go on here. So I dropped her off, and we were in the CRV, the old 2010 car we bought. We bought this car the day we got out of MIQ, and it managed isolation quarantine. That was what we had to do for COVID when we first came. And we bought it with the U.S. credit card because it's like we didn't have a bank account. We had nothing.
Right.
We were just, arriving. And we still have it. It's a good car, but it's got it's from Japan. They import a lot of cars from Japan.
My next car is going to be a Toyota.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally recommend getting a car from Asia if you're or the well, yeah. I mean, pretty much that's the best just for supplies for parts and things.
Yeah.
But this
the Volkswagen
has a Japanese radio still. We've never converted it because we drive a Kia, a newer Kia that has a New Zealand car. So that one's got the things. But it just randomly says things in Japanese when you're driving sometimes. Like,
Andrew's van does that. It yells at you in Japanese. Yeah.
So only one radio station comes in as well. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't on. But I have started trying to play like the most embarrassing music for her. And she was trying to get me not to drop her off at the gate.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so busy, all the kids are coming to school. Yeah. And so she's like, no, don't pull over here. And so I just started singing like Gwen Stefani songs and stuff and just get out of the car. If you're going to do this, I'm going to embarrass you with 90s music. Like, I'm in pajama pants. I always bring the dog, and she's just... When I'm picking her up in athletic wear... Oh, yeah.
She'll be like, did you get dressed today? I was like, in some cultures, this would be considered a sign of wealth that I didn't have to get dressed in regular clothes today. She's like, that's not the case for you. But yeah, actually, does your house have a lot of doors? So down on the flats, they like to put doors in every single room because of the windows. I don't know. A lot of houses here just have so many doors. So every bedroom of ours has a door to the outside. So when we first moved in, I made a joke. I'm like, we better move before they're teenagers because they can easily sneak out.
You mean like the sliding doors?
Just doors, like glass doors.
Yeah.
Every room has a door in my
house. For
house.
ventilation, I think, because you don't use air conditioning here nearly as much. It's not that hot usually.
So many windows and so many doors, and my windows always look dirty. But anyway,
the
other night, I was cracking down on device use, and I mean, Andrew and I were like, we don't really have to discipline her often, so we were like laughing. We couldn't even take ourselves seriously. We're so bad at it. But then I was like, if this was me, I would have been walking out that door and running away. I don't know to where. I'd come back at nighttime, but I would have tried to prove a point. Exactly at her age, I was running away when I was like 9, but just to try to scare my parents. But I kept going in her room to check, and she's just in there. And I was like, you have a door. And she's like, why do you want me to run away? I'm like, no, I don't. It's just so hard for me to believe because if my parents did this sort of injustice to me, I would have been running away. And she's just, Yeah, no, she's not as feisty as I was.
Mine
So
is
that's
every bit.
Yes, yours is like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I still have another girl coming on,
But she doesn't. She doesn't have a sliding door.
Is that a good
It's like
thing?
a death drop from her
Oh,
bedroom.
because she's upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about it. She has a fire extinguisher in there and stuff. And like, you're gonna have to sacrifice your femurs if there's a fire and you can't get out to the balcony side where her brother's room is like right around the corner where they could get out.
Did you let your daughter? I guess she was younger then, but at this age now, 14, would you let her take the city bus?
Oh yeah,
in Minneapolis.
Buses. No, in Minneapolis, probably not. No.
Yeah. So we didn't have city buses in the part of New Hampshire I was in, but no way would I be letting her get on a city bus. And obviously here, all these kids start taking city buses when they're like, what, 12?
Yeah.
11, 12?
Yeah. I mean, Reese is 12. He just doesn't do it because he's a homebody like his dad. But he could. He has a bus card.
Yeah. It's crazy. The first couple of times she did it, I was stressed out because she didn't have a phone yet. So I didn't know. I just didn't know. But yeah, now that's just what they do to get everywhere and do things.
Yeah.
And
especially being up the hill because they don't.
Do your kids ride bikes to school?
My kids don't like bike riding, and we are on the hill. That's a disadvantage for kids.
All these kids ride their bikes to school. My kids just refuse to ride a bike. I'm like, just be a Kiwi kid and ride a bike.
It's a really big biking culture all over New Zealand.
Yeah,
but Christchurch is really built for it now.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing the kids did with school is like a road safety. They went out cycling, to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
Because they don't, it's hard sometimes to remember what it's like to be a kid. But if you don't drive, you may not be aware of road rules and stuff. And,
True.
I think it's intimidating to an extent that they don't know some of this stuff.
What was your biggest surprise to moving here? Or once you were here, like your biggest surprise?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I think, like work culture is probably, it's been the biggest challenge.
Mm-hmm. Like we think we're great and that everyone should employ us. And they
do not think so at all. Yeah.
No. And
it's really a very, it's who you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they're not really always looking for the most qualified candidate. They want, it's kind of a bullying culture. They want the person that they're going to be able to pressure into doing things or not. I don't know. They don't want change. They do not want change. And Americans, I think, pretty much have, you don't get all the info from everybody, but Americans have a reputation of coming in and being like, what are you really doing here? And they're not interested in improvement. They just want everything to be the way that it's been. And I've been in quite a few industries here, and I've definitely had the old school mentality where I was like, am I back 20 years ago? Yeah.
And then I've been at an organization that was really modern and really quick, and but it was also
they're there. It's out there. I mean, there's very progressive thinkers, really well-educated people. I mean, it's not. It's just a big cultural difference, and job hunting here is the most challenging experience.
For sure. It's been I've
really
had
hard.
jobs, but it's definitely been my biggest challenge of being here. And because I've always worked, I even went back to work when my first child was 6 weeks old, which is crazy to think about. But
they would be astounded here. Yeah. They get a year.
And especially my children also slept in my bed until we moved here. So I was like, well, maybe that's because I went back to work when they were too little. I don't know. But so they're very attached, but then I went back to work really early. But what was I going to say about that? Oh, so I like to work. That's part of who I am. Before I came here, I had my own business that was very valuable to me. And so not working, I don't like that. I don't like it. And so then it causes problems in my home because my kids like me working as well. They like having my own thing and having my own income. And then Andrew also likes me working. And so when I'm not, it just kind of created, I don't know, it brings out other issues as well.
I hated not working.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I am working. There's a huge demand for nurses here.
Yes.
However.
So anyone who's in healthcare, but it's very different.
It's very different. At first, it doesn't feel so terribly different, but some of the limitations, I don't know, differences start to emerge. And it's really frustrating. And one of the things that's totally taken me out of the arena, though, is in public hospitals, because two-tier system, they do have private hospitals around, but you just expected to work all the shifts as they schedule you. And it wasn't ever like that. In Minnesota, you could get away without nights. I mean, I work straight nights by choice, but then I started getting older and older, so I can't anymore. I can't handle it, and there is no way to not work night shift. And eventually, you know, my options then of places to go and work were so limited, and I don't have seniority here, so I couldn't go into some of the more desired like clinic things, you know, where you're still a nurse. And I just ended up eventually pretty much giving up my nursing practice. I went to the skin checks job. Which required what they call an APC, an annual practicing certificate. So I'm still like a licensed nurse, registered nurse. But I did that for about a year. And then I've recently gone into some sales, like medical device sales, which is way better. I like it a lot better.
Yeah.
And from that place, it's like great to interact with everybody in the hospital or from that perspective. And that's really enjoyable, which has renewed some faith. You know, like they do a really good job. They're well educated. You know, they do advanced stuff. But from the nursing side, I was working in recovery, theater recovery or operating room recovery. And just the, you know, I guess I call it moral distress. Like, I know what I want to do here. I know what needs to be done, and I can't do it. And like nobody's listening. And just.
Oh yeah,
it was really.
But then look at the ocean. Look at how the beaches. Look at how the beaches are never crowded. Like these beaches would be so crowded in America, and we can go hiking.
Oh yeah, you can go, and that's what I would do. And some of the times where it's just the absolute like, this just I can't.
That's what I
can't
do.
Get used to this. Yes, if you go and you just go for a short walk, there are tracks everywhere, and you just get out in nature. You'll be like, all right, and then. People are exceedingly kind in public. You know, I think once I remember Joe talking about being super frustrated and just like sitting down right by our house on the river, just sitting down on a bench and like, you know, pinching his bridge of his nose and dropping his head. And some lady was just like, excuse me, are you all right? You know, it's a lovely place to be out in public and interact with people. And, I mean, you do get into some of those deeper cultural things living here, but it's pretty easy to renew your like, all right, I'm going back to work tomorrow. I just got to do it.
But it's such a melting pot too. It's not like
it's very
just
diverse.
the European Kiwis, and then there's the native people who are the Maoris, and then there's a lot of people from the Cook Islands and South. Like my daughter's little bestie trio is a girl from Palestine, a girl from the Cook Islands, a girl from the Philippines, and then my little white Kiwi. Well, she's an American kid, but she's also a Kiwi. Yeah. But she still was like, I'm American. She's very proud
My
of
kids
that.
are all.
Yeah.
Well, except
proud to be an American. Yeah, they still are. But it's really interesting for them to have this diversity because in New Hampshire where we lived, zero. Like pretty much zero diversity. Like everyone spoke English. Everyone was definitely from America. There was no one coming in from other countries. So my daughter's school, primary school, has 52 different countries. Kids from 52 different countries constantly coming in. When my kids first started, my mom was asking the kids, wow, they must think you're so cool because you're from America. And my daughter's like, no, there's a new person coming every week from all different countries. No one, I'm no one special because of that. But you said at your kids' school, they were cool for being American at first when they first came.
There were other Americans around, but there's a smaller, I guess it's a smaller school probably. And mine, Kellen, I think, speaks with a New Zealand accent when he's at school.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I think he does, or at least to an extent. Well, he does it playing, video games and stuff online too, and he's like really obsessed with Australia now too. So he'll also do the Australian. Both
he can tell the difference.
Yeah.
Do you know I could not tell the difference even being married to a Kiwi. Coming here, I could not tell the difference between a Kiwi Australian accent until I came here this time and worked with an Australian, like every day. And then I was like, now I can. Now I finally know.
Same, totally. Yeah. And they're shocked when you say that. But Annika also speaks with a New Zealand accent.
Does she?
With her friends.
Okay.
Yeah. And when she comes back from being with them, so I don't think that it's all just show. I think that
Yeah,
they're
they're really
just used
picking
to
it up.
this, and
But then I say the Kiwi words now just so people understand me easier. Like the trunk of the car is the boot.
Yep.
Yeah. What about when someone says they're going to the place where you used to work as a nurse?
the hospital.
Yeah, but they don't say the hospital.
Oh, in hospital?
No, they just say going to hospital.
Oh yeah.
I'm at
yeah.
hospital.
Yeah.
There's no the in front of it. Do you notice that?
Yeah, I guess I do.
Yeah. Just like those little things. I mean, it's very small. We both speak English, but they're different English.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
so,
the first time what was I trying to do with sunroof leaking because we had that Volvo for a while.
yeah.
And I took it, or I asked the mechanic about, bringing it in to see what was wrong with it. And they said, oh, no, we really recommend that you take it to a panel beater. And I was like, a what?
What's a panel?
It's a body shop.
Oh.
But it's the most hilarious. I just was like, I was laughing on the phone. I mean, that's British, but it literally comes from pounding out dents and steel cars, steel frames of cars. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It is just so funny that I couldn't help it. You'll run across a lot of that type of stuff though. Oh, and then there's the, they don't call them fanny packs here. They call them bum bags. You know that one, right?
Oh, yeah.
Fanny means something totally different. Well, not totally different, but...
Is fanny the front?
Yeah.
Yeah. But why did America call it fanny?
I don't know how it became...
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, they definitely have some funny terms. And I mean, I guess I was familiar with some of them since I'm married to a Kiwi, but even with Andrew lived in America, he left his Kiwi words behind and went with
to be understood.
Yeah. Like no one in a drive-through or anywhere could ever understand him. Not once in all the years of being there could he get the right order, like from Dunkin' Donuts or something. And yeah, here they're just used to so many different accents because it's such a melting pot of people.
It is. It's fun in that way. It's more diverse.
Yeah.
And you do get that variety. And
yeah.
Auckland is definitely the most diverse. I think over half the population there was not born in New Zealand.
That's crazy. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it will be interesting to see how this country goes in the next 20 to 30 years.
Yeah.
So yeah. And what about at work or any of your works? Did you have to speak any Māori?
We learned terminology. It was used usually it was internal communications, but signage.
Yes, the signage. So the signage here has the English and the native language. So we have 3 official languages: English, Māori, which is the native, which a lot of people say Maori, but I was taught to say it kind of like Mori, moldy cheese. Like that's how like my brain remembers it. Yeah. And then sign language. So I'm just really bad at it. Like I try, but my pronunciation is pretty poor.
The open public addresses always with the same.
Yes.
But I recognize it and I know what it means, but I couldn't say it. You don't really get a lot of actual practice. You know, I used to kia ora.
Yeah.
That one, and you'll use that in email addresses and things. And you definitely, if you're out there, you're gonna learn. But I find it hard to like practice. And it's intimidating. You're like, how weird is it going to be if I try to say that right now?
Yeah. Okay, well, we have been speaking for quite a while, so we'll wrap up. Is there anything else that you would like to add to your Kiwi experience? I think mostly our listeners are going to be Americans. I don't know why Kiwis would want to listen to Americans talking about New
Zealand.
Yeah, they'll just get annoyed with me probably.
They're going to get deported.
I made a little intro last night, and the 2 non-Americans that listened to it were annoyed by it. I was like, stop trying to change me. That's
freedom,
such a
man.
theme. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, anything else you'd like to
I'd
share?
say assuming this is going to reach people who are probably interested in options for relocating here because of the title, I'd say look into some comedy. You may not get it all. There'll be references that you need to be here for, but Guy Williams on YouTube.
Okay.
Hilarious dude. There's I always forget his name, but the Snackachangi chips guy.
I do not know.
It's a brand of potato chips.
Oh, okay.
And like all of the bags are hilarious, like a comic book.
Okay.
I can't think of his name right now, but
Okay, we'll put it in the comments once I put a thing up, because we've gone to some comedy together.
Yeah, well, that one was rough. That was like amateur night.
The funny thing about
Yeah.
comedy is I say, when people are like, oh, are they good? I'm like, I don't know, but if they're not good, at least we can laugh that they're not good.
Yeah.
You know, either way, you're probably going to laugh either with them or at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone to the comedy club a few times and I've seen some excellent acts, and then I have seen some, wow, not so much. And I went to an American comedian here recently, and he said he loves coming here because he can just say all these bad, like he said no one gets offended.
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah. He felt like he could get away with a lot more.
Yeah, it's pretty. I'd say swearing is pretty built into your average culture here.
We didn't swear on this at all today.
I know. I was wondering if we weren't meant to.
Well, just wanted to flow, and we can say what we want because I am a
Save that for another time.
I'm a swearer, but I learned how to do beeping or bleeping. So
you wanted to use that.
I figured if we did, and then I was like, I don't know, what do I want my rating to be? Adult? I haven't figured that out yet.
I doubt anybody under a certain age is going to be like, well, let's listen to these two old ladies talk about moving to New Zealand.
My daughter asked me not to put my real name on here because she...
Oh, yeah. Doesn't want her friends to find out, huh?
Yeah, I hope they do.
I know, right?
Hey.
I just thought that too. Like, wonder where I could they're all on Snapchat. That's where we'd be like, hey, you want to know about our moving here? Oh, that would be great. Annika would love that.
Oh, what?
No, if I shared it with a friend, she'd hate it. That's what I'm saying.
she would. Okay, yeah, she would hate.
So I'm gonna do it.
Oh, we're so nice. I mean, entering the teenage years with girls. It's a journey.
Yeah. This is where the swearing comes in.
Yeah, mine turns 14 tomorrow, and
oh, really? It's
yeah, tomorrow she turns 14, and I was very innocent until 14 and a half.
You know exactly when it all happened.
Yes,
I guess you know what, I was too, until 15 probably.
Okay, yeah.
15, 16, even 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the interest was always there.
Yeah. And well, I started high school at 14. My daughter started high school here at 12. So that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I mean, the maturity of a 12-year-old and a 14 and a half. So I started high school in America at 14 and a half. Mm-hmm. And here, high school just starts earlier, and so she was 12. She's also young for her grade or year, but also I was like, I dropped her off. I'm like, who are all these men? She's like,
You're 13?
Yeah. I'm like, why are you in school with all these adult men? And these girls look like they're women. Like, what the heck is going on? And that's just how it is, because high school's 5 years here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
and they do start a little younger.
They do. Mm-hmm. So it's crazy. But so far, that part's going well and just on the ride. And we will have to have you back, and because we could have lots of things to talk about.
Oh, so much.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe you can get some questions.
Yes, send questions. Definitely send questions. Although we can't legally give immigration advice, but I will have an immigration expert on to answer the questions that I collect.
Yeah, that's awesome.
My plan for that.
But we can talk about our own experiences.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, everyone.